So I'm back at the mirror ball, and as you can see, Devonshire Dock Hall, etc. is quite visible. As is this rather big inferior mirage that's running through the image. That's very trippy when you look at that. With those windmills, as they say, they're actually wind turbines. What we're seeing here is the bottom of those wind turbines are behind the inferior mirage, and the inferior mirage is happening before then, and we're just getting this effect of a reflection off the atmosphere, making it look like the wind turbines are paddling. And of course, there's a very good example of an inferior mirage there. You can also see the sea, and then right above it you've got this like light coloured sky colour. Again, that's a reflection of the sky, and this theme of repeating the sky underneath it is through the entire image. Here in particular, you can see it again. And obviously at the end of the mountain there we get it again as well. Just very cool. So right now I'm at the mirror ball. I'm essentially about 50 feet above actual sea level right now. So I'm not actually 100% sure what the curve calcs would say on this. So there's the mirror ball. Over in this direction, it's quite beautiful actually. We're seeing the mountains of Wales. It's changed to actually see them because we haven't seen them for a while. The clarity of the air hasn't been that good to see them. Just refocus. So, I think that is Great Orme. I could be completely wrong, so don't hold me to that. So very cool. It's nice to see these mountains. Be nicer to see it in infrared, I'll be honest. And Jay Tolan Media, he's been busting the globe regularly now for the past, what, 4 months or so. His infrared photography is exceptional. The reason that he's getting such good stuff is because he's getting higher than where this inferior mirage is. So because his elevation is higher and he's looking at things that are higher up, he's taking away this effect that we're seeing now. And when we come across to obviously the buildings over here, there's this effect that's going on, and essentially right at this low point, this is where this compression happens in the inferior mirage. Now, I've filmed these buildings without an inferior mirage at different heights, and was able to basically reverse engineer the curve calculator and put it into a compression calculator that showed that these buildings were actually being compressed when there was no inferior mirage there. So if there's no inferior mirage, you see the compression and you can actually calculate for that. And when you actually see the inferior mirage, you know, I've shown many a time that this inferior mirage blocks out the bottom of the object or mountain or whatever it is that you're trying to look at. So they must go hand in hand, and I feel that right now what we're looking at is these buildings have this inferior mirage underneath them. We know that the compression happens in that exact area too, except we can't see the compression because the inferior mirage is blocking that. If that inferior mirage was not there, then we would see the compression. And like I say, I've already documented this throughout the year. What's also interesting is that because it's really cold right now, I mean it's 1 degree right now, and the Globers will say, oh yeah, well, this is the conditions that you should be filming in, this is perfect for globe proofs. And that isn't the case. What I'm actually seeing is that when it's warmer weather, and it doesn't always happen, you know, it doesn't always happen, but it happens much more when it's colder, you get this inferior mirage. And when it's warmer, when the conditions are correct, so obviously it must be something to do with the humidity in the air as well. So you've got warmer weather and the correct humidity, then you don't get this inferior mirage. And when you don't get that inferior mirage, everything opens up. So you don't get the compression and you don't get the inferior mirage. It's really weird. And then you just see what you should see. You just see a long, long, long way, flat, shore to shore. So what they want you to do is they want you to film in conditions like this, where it's cold, where you've got this inferior mirage going on, and then they want to claim that as being some kind of globe proof, which is nothing of the sort. It actually hinders what you're looking at. So them claiming hindrance or blockage is curvature is preposterous. And like I say, I mean, Jay Tolan Media with his infrared now is showing how it can, you know, how this compression can even happen when you're looking at it through infrared. So yeah, I mean, the past year's been excellent. I mean, Jose, he's started to look into this now. He actually said to me that he was going to model his work and style of work on the observations that I'm doing. So it's more of a scientific way. and because you're doing it in a scientific way, it isn't always very pretty. You know, you don't get the really pretty images, you know, because you're being scientific, you're trying to understand what's going on. And yeah, so you do get a lot of heat from that. You get people that just can't see what you're trying to show them. You're trying to show them that the inferior mirage is a blockage. That's it. It's an atmospheric blockage. And you're trying to detail them and say to them, look, compression happens. You know, it's a real thing. You know, it's not just me that first started documenting it, which I did actually, but there you go. But it's other people that are actually coming forth now with their own proofs of the same phenomena happening. So it's been a learning curve to understand how the globe was able to effectively hijack perspective and replace it with curvature. And you know, the work that flat earthers are doing right now is unraveling this deception. And here's another perfect example of this inferior mirage in the distance. You can see where the inferior mirage is actually happening on this line of turbines here, because they're all being blended into one another. This is sensational stuff. The Globers would claim this as curvature in the past, but let me explain a few things. Just let me get the camera in a correct position and I'll explain a few things here. Right, because this is what the Globers don't want you to understand with these turbines. Right, the bigger turbine in the foreground, the biggest one, is nearer to me. The one behind it is further away. With it being further away, it's going to get smaller as it goes further away, just as if somebody's walking away from you. When they're right in front of your face, they're at your same height, and then they walk further away, they get smaller. It's the same with these turbines, they are getting smaller. But then, at some point, they get small enough where they are starting to bump into the inferior mirage. And what you're looking at now is those turbines in the middle. Those line of turbines are actually right on the cusp of where this inferior mirage is happening. And that inferior mirage is causing the blockage. They are further away, so they are smaller. The tops of those turbines are closer to the inferior mirage, and then you get all this blending and merging and paddling that looks like the blades are paddling in the water. That's what you actually see. It's not rocket science. It's very easy to understand when you understand what the inferior mirage is. It's all about perspective. So, just another beautiful day down at the beach, down at Blackpool. We had a gentleman that's been trolling me recently, saying that from this location you can't even see North Pier, you can't even see the wind turbines. That's what he said. Well, hang on, let me just get stationary so we can show you some things. So he said we can't see Central Pier or North Pier, etc. Well, there's Central Pier, because there's where the Ferris wheel is. Hello. And you know, when I was pointing over here and saying, oh, we can't actually see the wind turbines today, he said, oh right, well you can't see them because they're too far away and there's no way you'd ever be able to see them anyway. Well, let me just scroll in a tad so that you can see. Let me reset. And this is just to my little troll friend, who says that these turbines should not be seen from this location, because the last time that I put a video out from here, we had blockage and we couldn't see these turbines. These turbines were hidden behind the atmosphere. Whether it was mist or whether it was an inferior mirage was difficult to work out at the time. I still don't really have an answer. I've not really looked into it too much, I'll be honest, because essentially it wasn't really important to the observation. But yeah, this is just showing that, hello, yes, we can see these turbines from this location, from this exact same spot. And I think I ended the last video by doing the exact same thing. I panned around and I showed you the mirror ball right there, and he said those turbines should not be visible. Well, there you go, that's kind of in your face, my friend. So anyway, I've hoped you've enjoyed this little chat of ours down at the beach. I'm going to warm up in the car now because I'm bloody freezing, and yeah, we'll just we'll continue to do this stuff. We have a whole new year of exciting times ahead. Many people with P900s, P1000s, a lot of people doing this kind of observation now. And also, I mean, I want to point out that if you want to go over to Bob the Science Guy's latest video, or one of the latest video, where he's basically attacking a flat earther and saying that it doesn't match it matches the globe, etc., etc. If you are honest about your role in this as a human, you will know that he is actually lying, and that what he's doing is he is trying to suppress the information that's in that video by a brand new flat earther who is putting content out and showing pretty much shore to shore over 9.41 miles, flat as a pancake. And Bob is trying to obfuscate the point by lying, by deliberately lying, not even pretending to lie. I mean, he's actually placing this gentleman at an observer height of 6 feet to make it match his globe belief, when the gentleman in question was clearly right at sea level, about 1 foot above the actual water at the time. And because it didn't actually match his globe belief, Bob the Science Guy retorted to a question of mine, which was, why would you increase his elevation height? And he said, well, why is it when I put him at 6 feet, it matches the observation? I kid you not, he actually typed those words out. Why, when I put him at 6 feet elevation, does it match the observation? I couldn't believe what I was actually hearing. Essentially, doing that would make the curve calcs work for him. But obviously, because the curve calcs did not work when he put it at 1 foot, because most of that platform that he was viewing would have been hidden, he gave him an elevation of 6 feet to make it match his globe math model. How dishonest. And because he has a relatively large subscriber base for these anti-flat earth channels, he was then this guy was then getting plenty of heat from people saying that he'd been debunked. And this is a typical example of the stuff that the Globe do. They hunt on in packs, they lie, they obfuscate the truth, they don't put in the correct details, the correct data. They lie about it, and they lie about it bold-faced lying to try and get a victory that they have no right to claim. They are not honest people. You know, honest people are doing honest work, and I have to say, this guy that's done the observation, he's doing it just like I am, like Jose's now doing. He's getting down low, he's going up higher, he's doing it on different days, he's going back and repeating this stuff. And I think you know, the dirty observations are where the truth is really hidden. These dirty observations showing blockage, accounting for it, going back repeatedly day after day after day, seeing them in different conditions, actually doing scientific work. This is the kind of people we should be supporting. This is the observations I've been doing for the past year. This is, you know, I don't want to say that I'm leading the way in this, because I'm certainly not, but I have been doing this for the past year, and it's nice to see that other people are actually cottoning on to the validity of the work, that it is a scientific, you know, process to unravel the mysteries of where we live. You know, we can't just sit back and show the pretty stuff. We have to get dirty. We have to show the dirty science. We have to show the dirty, this is the globe proof in their opinion. Well, no, it's not globe proof anymore. We're taking that from you. We are removing your globe proofs and replacing them with flat proofs. You only hijacked these proofs. You hijacked them for a short time, maybe 200 years, 300 years. You've hijacked perspective. And we're taking it back. That's what we are doing. We are taking back perspective. And we are giving back the flat earth to the people. Your globe religion is no longer the consensus. It has no scientific facts, no scientific evidence. There's no proofsies for your little religion. Anyway, I was going to start ranting then, but I'm not going to. I want to keep this beautiful observation, beautiful beautiful stream without any profanities. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed all that. Anyway, it's just nice to be out here doing this stuff, and yeah, I'll see you all again in the next one. So I would like to talk about Red's Rhetoric, and I had the misfortune of watching one of his more recent hangouts where he brought up his best proof of curvature, and I kid you not, it was footage taken from a drone. And I mean, what they actually did was hilarious. I'll tell you in a moment, but let me just tell you a little something about perspective and field of view. So I'm down at the beach, and when I look down this way, I'm essentially looking south, and when I look this way, I am essentially looking north. Might be a few degrees off, but you get the general gist. Now, as I pan around and I pan across and I move from south through to west and across to north, I now have a field of view, and it is shaped, believe it or not, in a semicircle. And it's shaped in a semicircle due to the fact that I can only ever see for a certain amount of distance from my observer height right now. So when I look out in this direction, let's give a value of say 20 miles. I can see 20 miles to where the water converges with the sky. That is my field of view. And then when I look in this direction, it's again, it's 20 miles. 20 miles, 20 miles, you get the gist. However, because we are using a camera, and obviously we are looking it through our own lenses, but for this point it is the camera, as it looks to 20 miles, dead center, what will happen is that at the very extremities, no matter what kind of camera you use, those edges will slightly drop. That is because it is trying to capture 20 miles, 20 miles, 20 miles, 20 miles, but it only captures 20 miles straight in front, and it forms a semicircle. Now then, what these clowns did was take a snapshot, like so, of the semicircle. They took a snapshot of this semicircle, this field of view, and they took the snapshot. And in fact, if I'm going to make a video out of this, I might just play the clip of what they actually did. So if I do, and you're seeing this right now, you'll see the clip, and if not, I'll just talk you through it.
You are looking at a drone flight at 1,638 feet with the picture actually compressed left to right. And there is your curvature over water.
So basically what we're looking at here is curvature.
Yes, curvature over water. Water sticking to the exterior of a spinning ball.
This is a processed fucking image from a drone that has the ability to be squished and looked at and scrutinized in a way that looking at shit with the naked eye you cannot fucking do with. Ranty, this is a image that's been compressed. The very moment that you're able to do that with the naked eye, maybe then you'll have reason to call bullshit on Neil deGrasse Tyson. But the thing is that we're able to do things with images that we can't do with naked eye observations. Like, for example, squish them so that we can make any curvature that is there drastically more dramatic so we can actually see it.
Okay, Mr. Ranty, this is the original image from the, well, a screenshot from the drone flight. It was a video in its original size. And all we do is grab this right edge and say, squish. This allows us to see curvature in a very unique way. Let's bring that back to the center so we can zoom in on it now. Now, if the horizon is truly flat, it will remain flat the whole way through.
Ooh, curvature.
Curvature. Eat a dick.
Curvature.
It does look a bit like curvature, doesn't it?
Curvature.
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 Let me go ahead and just share this. So I'm going to allow Ranty or anyone else to take a screenshot of this. I am now presenting to everybody. So go ahead, take a screenshot. Draw a line. Tell me what the fuck you see.
Curvature.
Go ahead. Draw that line. Draw that fucking line. Go ahead. Draw it. Take your time. Take your time. Get a screenshot. See that curvature.
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 So what they do is they get this snapshot of a portion of this semicircle and then they squish it. In their words, squish. They squish it from left to right. And if anybody's ever seen what happens when you squish a semicircle, you get curvature. It doesn't mean that you're looking at curvature. As experiments go and proofs, honestly, that has to be the worst ever put forth by the globe side. I kid you not. It was absolutely pathetic. And they actually, I don't know whether they actually believe it or whether they were trolling, but seriously, I actually believes it's true, because he was the one who brought out this proof and did the squishing effect. And this is their proof of globe. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. I have a field of view now, and as I pan around, it forms a semicircle. As I look out, I literally see a semicircle, like half a coin, half a 10p piece or half a 2p piece. That's what I'm looking at. I look at a circle, like so. If I was to be able to see the same distance this way, I would form a full circle as I move from left to right or right to left. It makes no difference. Whichever way I go, I form a circle. And if I take a snapshot of said circle, I will have portion of a circle, and a circle is not straight. So Reds, you've got some explaining to do if you actually believe that that is proof of curvature. And I'm surprised that nobody's ripped you a new one, really, over it. I'm ripping you a new one right now. In fact, I was telling you in the side chat that it was just perspective, and it was your field of view, and how the camera captures the field of view will give you a portion of a semicircle. Wow. I don't believe I have to actually explain that to you, unless you're just trying to deceive your audience. That could be a possibility, I would have thought. Because, I mean, you are supposed to be one of the Ball Earth's best debaters and best minds. And if you actually believe that, then wow, the globe has some serious issues. Anyway, thought I'd bring you down to the globe. Reds, this is a globe. It's called the mirror ball, mate. And I've seen it from Hoy Lake, and I've seen it from Barrow in Furness. And guess what? In your little globe world, we're not supposed to see this globe. This globe should be gone beyond the curvature of the Earth. And yet, I have seen it. So in order for you to prove that refraction loomed it up, you're going to have to prove looming. You're going to have to prove refraction. You're going to have to prove R. You are going to have to prove R. And you have no scientific proofies of R, do you? No scientific proofies of anything for your globe model, your religion. In fact, your only proofies is taking a snapshot of a semicircle and proving it and saying that it is curvature. You retard. It's a bad time to be a glober, it really is. Anyway, on a lighter note, here I am again down at the mirror ball. There we have Blackpool Tower off in the distance, we have the big one. Right, that'll do for me. Better get to work, and I'm going to leave you guys to it until the next time.